Hello YouTube, welcome back to Flight Sim World, an early access preview, and today I am going to be looking at an IFR approach into London. I want to see what the IFR is like in Flight Sim World, how well it's replicated, and if I can actually fly into London. Now, as we know, historically, London is probably the toughest city in Flight Simulators, not to fly into, but in terms of performance. In Flight Simulator 10, I was down to, at times, 9 frames a second in London, whilst outside, everywhere else, I could get, 20, 30, 40 frames. But in London, I would be down to about 9 frames per second. That's just how intensive it is due to the nature of how built up London is. So, what we're going to do today is we're going to be taking a PA-34 Seneca V. By the way, it is a Seneca V. I've done some checking on that. Should I take a Seneca V or should I take a Malibu Mirage? Oh, that's a... Have I flown the Malibu Mirage yet? I don't think I have. But I'm going to take the Seneca V because I think this might be a better idea. We're going to go for fair weather, nothing too dramatic, and we're going to take off from... Where should we take off from? Southend. We're going to take off from Southend Airport and we're going to head this way. We're going to head towards Heathrow. We're going to land at Heathrow, but the way we're going to do this is we're going to follow what's called the Lambourne, I think, is it 3 Alpha? I think. Lam 3A. Yeah, it's the Lambourne 3 Alpha arrival is what we're going to follow into London. So the first thing we're going to have to do is get on that arrival, and we're going to see if we can intercept it at around Brasso or something. Now, for most of you, this may not be making any sense. So what I'm going to do is I'll be showing, as I talk about these things, I'll show the charts that I'm using. I've got some aircraft charts, navigation charts of London, and I'll show little snippets of those charts so that you have somewhat of an idea as to what I'm actually going to be doing. Right, let's do that. Let's configure this. Let's have no wind. Let's just nice simple day. We'll go for let's see. Let's go for something like 10 in the morning. That would be quite nice, I think. There has been an update to Flight Sim World, and one of the things that has been updated is the gauge lights inside, and this is quite a big one for me. Right, let's go. Okay, this is quite a big one for me. This is going to be about a 40-minute video, I think. And the reason it's a big one for me is because I like having gauge lights on even in the daytime. I just prefer having them on. I always have, and I've done that in flight simulators all the while. I may switch off the dome light and all that kind of stuff, but I prefer to have the gauge lights on no matter what. So that's what we're doing there. So let's go through the plan. We're going to be taking off at Eastbourne. We're going to fly towards Brookman's Park. So we're going to be using IFR rules, right? So you may have seen in the title, we're going to be doing IFR. That's instrument flight rules. We're not just going to be eyeing this and saying, well, which way is Heathrow? Let's fly that way. Let's fly over. We're going to be flying as if we're doing a proper approach. Admittedly, because there's no air traffic control, or we're not going to be using air traffic control, we're not going to get vectors in. Vectors means they're telling us where to turn and where to head. They're using radar, and they're telling us where to go to get out of the way of other traffic. We don't have to worry about that, so we're not going to worry. We're just going to do it as we need to do it. We're going to fly up towards Brookman's Park. We're then going to join the Lambourne 3 Alpha approach. Once we get to Lambourne, we're then going to go and switch to the actual Lambourne initial approach for runway 27. I think we'll go for 27 left. Yeah, I think we'll go for runway 27 left, and then once we do that, we're going to land in on runway 27 left. So the idea will be, I'll probably put this chart up while this is loading. There's like an S bend, and we're going to be following that S down into Heathrow, and that's going to actually take us right over London City Airport and the heart of London. Right, we're loaded up, so let's go press start and let's get this ready. Okay, now I don't know how well this is going to go for me, since last time out we couldn't get the autopilot working. They have done some updates on the autopilot, so maybe that will help us. Right, let's see what comes on and off. Right, those are lights on. So we're in Southend, and I'm going to talk a little bit about ORBX actually whilst we're at it. I am going to talk a little bit about the graphics that are in here and all that kind of stuff, because there is something to say about that. And obviously we're going to, I really like this passenger seat, so we're going to make use of this passenger seat and this passenger seat. Okay, right, as you can see, we can actually have lights on. Now I'm going to switch the dome light off. Where is the dome light button? That one, I think. There we go. But I'm going to get rid of that. But you can see, look at that. That actually, remember last time out I tried it and this was not turning? Well, look, they turn now. Now the thing is, they're not actually, they don't seem to have actually lit anything up, but at least they're turning. So we'll switch all of them on. Right, let's make sure we get everything set up correctly. So we'll go down here and we will set our squawk to be a VFR. Actually, we're not VFR. Ah, okay, hold on. Let's change that. We're going to go for squawk 7455 is our squawk. There we go. And we're not VFR. Oh no, we're not. Damn it. Come on. Standby 7455. In fact, let me see if I can switch to a better view of that. I cannot. Okay, let's zoom in over here. From engine controls, we can zoom in. That's quite cool. Oh, that's clear, right. There we go. Start. That's on. We'll leave that as on. That will do. Okay. Right, we're not going to worry about the ADF. We don't need to do anything about that. We're going to bring the flaps down one notch. We'll make sure that the mixture is right the way up. Rich mixture. We're going to be running constant rich mixture. I've done some edits to the config file again to get rid of any warnings if possible. And we're going to be making, now here we go, this is where the big part comes. We're going to be making good use of all of this equipment here. All of this equipment here we're going to be making very, very good use of. So the first thing we need to do is tune in where we need to go. So the first thing we're going to have to do is tune in Brooklands Park and Lambourne. So we've got Brooklands Park on 117.5 and Lambourne on 115.6. So here we go. 117.5. Come on. 117.5. That's the first one. And Lambourne is going to be 115.6. Come on. No, come on. This is a little bit finicky. For some reason we can't see. I managed to change that at some point. There we go. 115.6. Okay, so there's our two that we need. Now, after Brooklands Park, we're probably going to need to tune in. Most likely, we're going to be needing Bovingdon after Brooklands Park. So Bovingdon is 113.75. So we're going to have that on standby already. There you go, 113.75. That's on standby. And then the next one will probably be down here, which is going to be Heathrow, and that's going to be 119.5 is going to be Heathrow runway 27 left. That'll be 27 left. Alright, we are good to go. Now, the tracking we need for this, we're going to go to course, and we're going to have to switch this over to B. We're going to see if we can fly the 099 radio. So like that, and obviously we're going to have to go in the opposite direction. We're going to go on the radial, but we're going flying towards it. So that's fine. And that's our two. That's important. We've got both of them. I can't... Why can I not... Yeah, see, that's a little bit annoying. Can I not go back on that? No, I can only go around. Okay, well, that's okay. That's okay. We'll deal with whatever we have to deal with there. There we go. We're already 10 minutes into this video. But that's okay, because this is Flight Sim World. This is important. We'll switch on Nav 1. Let's see if we can hear this. I'll crack the volume right up for them. Make sure that's not muted. Right, Nav 1 is on. I don't know why that's not going to work, but we're just going to deal with it. Right, there we go. This is going to be an important screen for us, so we're going to leave that as that. Oh, there we go. We can get to this. Well, we don't need to touch it anymore. And pilot, we can zoom out and look up and switch on that, I think. Nope, that's the engine start. Why did I do that? That's not what I meant to do. What did I mean to do? It's down here. Radio master's on. That's on. That's on. Storm scope is fine. That's not nothing to matter about that. I just want to bring on the pitot heat. Where is that? I had this in the last episode, and I seem to have lost it again. I know it's here somewhere. I really do. It's okay. When I find it, I'll find it. It's not no big. Oh, there it is. That one. Done. Okay, let's get ourselves up and away. We'll crank up some power, and I will skip out little bits of this video just so it's not too long. Here we go. See if we can take off at around... I don't know really. We'll see how fast we can get. 100 knots? 100 knots seems to... Whoa, yes, 100 knots definitely works. Okay. Gear up. Positive rate. And we will begin our swing around over this way. Flaps up. Oh, that's really quite responsive. I like that. Right. The other thing we're going to have to do is bring that trim down. Let's hope this... See, this still does not work. So we're going to have an issue there. We'll switch that heading. So the heading we're looking for is going to... There we go. Swing around here again. Keep ourselves climbing. Keep ourselves climbing all the way. And we'll do that. Let's get ourselves out. Let's give ourselves slightly further range. Oh, this is very... Suddenly this is flying very, very crazily. Like, very, very responsive. Okay. Now, we'll get ourselves on the right heading, and we'll see if we can kick in the autopilot. Which, of course, if I kick it in, I've got to press Z, but that's going to do something really weird, but there we go. That's a heading hold. And we'll have to do the altitude manually. So if we're going for 099, that means that we're going to be having to... Oh, hold on. Also, the other thing is... Which one's closer? Yeah, that's fine. Okay, so 099 means that we're going to need to be... so if we're 9 degrees off the 90. So on the heading we really should be headed 276 should do the trick. I think it should be 099 should be what, 279 I guess. Yeah, now he's going to just be continuously warning, telling me about not having the mixture correct, but that's okay. And we're still climbing. Now the reason we're climbing is we're going to need to climb to a very specific height. Okay. So, time to talk about ORBX while we're at it. ORBX FTX Global. It's not all that, and the reason it's not all that, right, I need to swing this way. We should be going at 279, I think. There we go. Let's see if that helps. We'll just swing slowly towards it. We've still got some time. In fact, we probably don't have that much time. It's going to be... it's going to actually be a fair distance from Brooklands Park. So what I need to do, really, I need to be tuned into the other one now. That one. With the course on this one set to... well, I want the course set on this. Now you see, that's... I don't know. I can't set the course on this one. Why can I not do that? Because I'm fairly certain I need to start turning very, very soon. Alright, well, looks like we're going to be using one radio and one radio only. Alright, I think that's a bug. That has to be a bug, that I can't set the other... I cannot... Look, I can't actually tune... Yeah, I can't tune that. I can only go for a heading. Right, okay, so quickly, let's tune this radio correctly. So we need 115.6. There we go, we're on 115.6. Switch that over. Right, I now have no control over my altitude. Oh, there we go, now I do. Wow, what happened there? Okay, now I need to actually switch the course, if I can, to the course that I need to run, which is actually going to be 085. So I need to get the 085, and we're at the height that we need to be as well. No, not heading. Oh gosh. You keep going where you need to go. Okay, we need to level off here as well. This is a nightmare. This plane is not doing what it's supposed to do. So we need 085. 85, there we go. And then we'll need to be flying towards that as soon as we can. I hope that's actually a... Oh, well, what do you know? That's not working. It's only on the... Oh, is it gonna do it on the second only? It's just caused me to fly... Right, okay, the first one doesn't work. It still does not work. Right. All I've been doing here is I've just been flying towards Lambourne. That's ridiculous. I was supposed to be flying towards Brooklands Park and then Lambourne, but all I've been doing is flying towards Lambourne. So actually what I need to be flying here is... No wonder this was... No wonder I was a little bit confused as to what was going on. Right, we're going to do that. Let's see if we can intercept this one before we get there. Okay. So yeah, I was talking about ORBX. ORBX FTX Global is not actually all that. It's... oh no, I'm way too high. Right, I need to start working this out. I'm way too high. This is where autopilots really do come in handy. But ORBX FTX Global, I mean, if you look at that, you think, oh, that doesn't look too bad. But there's London, by the way. Or what ORBX perceives as London and generates as London. We're going to be getting there soon. We will be getting there very soon. Yeah, so FTX Global does a number of things. But one thing it doesn't do is do it too accurately. So, for example, you know when we saw those... why am I still climbing? Oh dear, this has gone all horribly wrong. I need to start dropping in height. I should have used the other plane. The other plane didn't have a DME though that I could get working. The Diamond DA42 or something. See, it's just not. What I need to do is I definitely need to swing this way and then come back. Now, can I actually see? That's an airfield. Can I not? I don't have any of the VORs on here, sadly. That's okay though. Let's swing back this way and come back on the VOR. But yeah, it's not all that accurate. So you know, looking down there, it's all right, but that is not that accurate, and the buildings are not accurate. The scenery is not. That's not British at all. But when you look at something like FTX England or something, that's when you really start to see, oh, hang on, that kind of looks, you know, that kind of looks more British. Right. I have an issue, though. I think I've crossed. Yeah, I've crossed away from it. Right, that's fine. So now that I've crossed away from it, I need to be flying on the 274. 275. Right, I need to be flying 275 now. And we need to do that until we get to 11 miles on here. And then we need to tune into Bovingdon and start a turn to get onto the 129. So let's get ready to tune in Bovingdon, which is 113.75. Also, now I should be starting to descend. I'm above 7,000 feet, which is what the instructions were at Lambourne. It's not right, is it? No, yeah, I'm right. I'm now. I don't know what's going on. 274. Oh, that's why. There's the course, right? If I did the course to be 275. Yeah, okay, there we go. Now we can see where we're going. So we need to head slightly this way. We're not too far off, actually. We're pretty close. And we do need to be descending ever so slightly now. Not a huge amount, just slightly. We'll bring ourselves down to... I think we can bring ourselves down to 6,000 if we can. Cut the power a little bit. And so yeah, it needs to be improved, particularly if we're going to be doing VFR flying. It does need to be improved. Right, now I've got to prepare for the turn. So the next one is going to be a 129 radio. We're going to start at a gentle turn, and I'm going to actually do this manually now. Right, and we're going to start dipping down as well. And we're going to tune up the next one. Oh, it's this, isn't it? Uh-oh. 117.5. There you go. And the course is a 129. And 29. There we go. Now you can see that now the frames are taking a hit. So let's have a look at what we're getting. 13, 15 frames a second. So there you go. We are taking the hit now. We do need to also get this plane starting to descend. They seem to be okay. I don't think I got the course right. There you go. We're slightly off, but we're okay. We're not doing too bad. And at this point, we should be coming down to 3,000 feet. I wanted to do this at night, actually. I did want to do this at night. Right, I'm going to bring that all the way up now. But unfortunately, I could not. Now, we need to be at 3,000 feet when we get to 30 miles from there. We should be heading away from it. I don't know why that's... There we go, 11.7. That's better. So we're now going to be just... We're flying backwards just to join up on the VOR, so it's not exactly right. But the way you'd normally do it is you go 30 degrees left or right, and that's how you judge it. Right, let's get a bit of rudder there. Lift the nose up now. Let ourselves shed off a little bit of speed. Because we're doing quite well actually. Surprisingly well. We are headed backwards essentially, but we'll be swinging around to 129 pretty shortly. Hang on, we are headed backwards. Why are we headed backwards? Oh no, that's right. Never mind. I got confused there. No, it's right. We need to head back. This is the second part of the S-bend. So this is all fine. But yeah, FTX Global is not all that, and it really makes a struggle for VFR. For VFR rules, it does really make a struggle. For IFR, it's not too bad because, like I said, we're relying on all these instruments here. I wish that quick tip would just shut up. It's really annoying. I need to bring the nose up a bit. We're good with speed, though. And 3,000, in fact, we're good with everything, yeah. 3,500 feet I'm quite happy with. So let's see if we can level off at around this spot here. So yeah, back to night flying. The reason I wanted to do this at night, but there is nothing that allows me to run this at night properly because, first of all, Heathrow was too dark. Second, the plane wasn't lit up at all. Third, there's the landing lights, no lights actually light up anything. They're just there for show. And that's annoying. So what my struggle was is actually managing to get it working. To actually get this thing running properly and being able to show you guys anything. It was just absolutely pitch black, and it was really, really horrible. So Flight Sim World developers, if you're watching this, you've got to sort out your volumetric lights, your dynamic lighting, all that stuff. You've got to fix that before anything else happens. Otherwise we're just not going to be able to do anything. Right. I don't know whether I'm following this chart correctly, but you know, whatever. It seems like I'm going way further out than I should be going, but oh, you know why I'm going way further out than I should be going? Because I think I've tuned that wrong. Oh, I've made a mess of this one. That is the one I want, and I bet you that's gonna hook. There we go. I knew something wasn't right there. Right. What a nightmare. It's alright, let's pretend we've been vectored outwards. We got vectored outwards, and now we're coming back onto that. As a matter of fact, we've done the 30 miles as well. So what I'm going to do is, yes, we've cut this a little bit wider, but that's okay, because now I'm going to turn around this way. We're going to fly right over City Airport at 3,000 feet. And we're going to prepare to tune London on 109.5. This is why we need these to all be working. That was, you know, switching through those was really difficult. Yeah, we're about to cross it. And we have to be at 3,000. Well, technically we're supposed to be at 3,500 feet, but we're at 3,000 and there's no traffic, so I'm okay. And I'm going to switch to 272 is the approach runway for Heathrow. So time to swing to 272. And we will cross. We will cross against over Bovingdon again, which is fine. That was a nightmare. See, technically we should be on the other side of Canary Wharf. Although we're still going to cross right over it, so that should be okay. But yeah, see, the side that we're on right now, if you have a look, you can see how juddery that is. That side that we're on, we should be on the opposite side. That's London City Airport down there, and this is what I mean about it not being realistic. That's not right. These buildings don't exist like that. Looks like the shadows are playing up as well. But we're going to see if we can hold around the 3,000 feet mark and crank ourselves up some speed and see if we can swing back towards Heathrow. And that'll be where I end the video as soon as I get to Heathrow. But yeah, so I hope you've been enjoying this IFR style flying. Again, though that's really messed me up, the fact that these radios aren't working. This one is essentially dead. This one right here is it just doesn't do anything. And that's a huge problem. Right. I'll see if I can level off here at 3,300, and we're going to hold 3,300 until we get established on the localizer for Heathrow. Come on. I'm not going to bother with the autopilot anymore. In fact, should I? No, I don't want to bother with the autopilot at all anymore, because the autopilot in this plane is messed up. I tried it in another plane and it works fine. The autopilot works absolutely fine in the other planes. It's just this one. Actually, I haven't tried in the other I haven't tried it in every single plane. I'll correct myself there. I haven't tried it in every single plane, but right, we're now 30 miles over, so really I think I should be swinging this way. And we'll start working out where we need to be going from here. So we'll now tune Heathrow. There we go. Localizer is alive, I think. No, that's the glide slope. Glide slope's alive. I can hold it at this height, as you can see. I will now get the course tuned in to 272. Is it 272? I think it is 272. It's 271 actually. There we go. And that will tell me where the runway is. The runway is on that side. Okay. We're going to see if we can hold this 3,500 feet until required. I can't see the airport. I can't see any indicators, any PAPI lights or anything for the airport. So that's a little bit concerning. But I'm still going to continue doing what speed I need to do. Should be, I don't know, just there. Is that it? That can't be it. Let's have a look. That is it. That's the airport. Okay, never mind. We're good. I can see the airport. It's sticking out like a sore thumb in the daytime. Right, and we're now coming up on the localizer. As you can see, this line down here is now joining up towards the middle, so that means that we're lining up with the runway. We're still high, so we don't have to worry about that. I mean, sorry, we're still too low, so we don't have to worry about that. As soon as this starts coming down, we need to start dropping height. Turn it back in. There we go. I can't see the PAPI lights on. That's annoying. I should be able to see them from here. But let's switch off. Yep. Every time I do that, it does something weird. Alright, so we're back exactly as we should be. Don't need flaps or anything right now. We'll just keep bringing ourselves very slowly down. We're 13 miles from the runway. We need to be at 3,000 feet. Whoa, what happened there? We need to be at 3,000 feet, some 7 miles from the runway. What is going on here? See, this is an issue that now this is the second time I've come across this issue. Right. So, we zoom in. We are too high, actually. Why are we too high? That's not right. Is that glide slope the wrong way around, then? I've got a feeling that glide slope may be the wrong way around. Because surely that should be down there if we're too high. Saying the glide slope is below us, not above us. Alright, well, let's give ourselves a bit of a steeper descent. We'll be okay. We'll be absolutely fine. I've noticed that nothing has... Actually, well, let's click nav 2. Maybe because nav 1 doesn't work. Let's click them both, see what happens. I'm waiting for those to start going red. So we're at 2,500. We're going to idle the power, actually. Let ourselves actually slow down. We're coming in at 170 knots, which is a good rate of speed. We're actually not allowed to do more than 180 now, as of that S-turn. Once we got down to 3,000 feet, we weren't allowed to do more than 180. Right, that glide slope indicator doesn't work. No, it doesn't. It's not telling me, it's just telling me I'm on a glide slope, but it's not telling me whether I'm lined up correctly or not. Okay, there are a number of issues in this aircraft. Right, let's slow it right back down. We're going to see if we can slow it down, and we're going to drop the landing gear. Also, these buildings, they should not exist so close to the airport. None of these buildings exist. So, I mean, look at that. It looks like, essentially, it looks like I'm going to have to clear a building to get to stay on the glide slope. There should be a perimeter road here. None of these buildings. In fact, I am going to have to clear that building. And that's not good. So, yeah, that needs to be fixed. I mean, look at that. Yeah, that glide slope doesn't work. Okay, there's something not right about this Seneca at all. With any of the altitude controls, it doesn't seem to work right. Yeah. So for that, Dovetail Games, you're really gonna have to fix it. See, I should not be having to clear a building that close. Look how close that is. Imagine if I was a 737 or something, trying to land at Heathrow. Right, bring it down nice and slowly. We'll flare it. There we go, on the brakes. Okay, well, that's that. That's given us a bit of a taste of IFR. Also shows that this thing doesn't work, and when that doesn't work, everything goes to pot. Because suddenly you start tuning the wrong radios and everything. Oh well, let's see if we can take this exit off. We can. Welcome to London Heathrow. There we go. Okay, thank you very much for watching. Please remember to hit the like button if you like this video, subscribe to the channel for more videos on Flight Sim World, leave a comment in the comments box below, let me know what you think of Flight Sim World if you've got it so far. Dovetail Games, you've got to fix this plane. You've really got to fix this plane. This console here is absolutely useless. It just doesn't do anything. When I press altitude here, I can't select anything. That doesn't work. Looks like the glide slope doesn't work at all either. It just says no glide slope. See this here? Right. Let me show you something before I end. See that G? That G, I believe, should be moving up and down when you're on the glide. So if it's in the middle, that means you're on the glide slope. If it's up, that means you're too high. If it's down, sorry, if it's up, it means you're too low, so the glide slope's above you. If it's down, you're too high, and the glide slope is below you. It didn't do anything. The localizer works, so that was fine. I'm quite happy with that. And I know the glide slope works in another plane because I've tried it in the Diamond DA42 twin prop, and it works in that. Similarly, these shouldn't be just switching between that and off. I should be able to go forward and backwards on that instead of having to go all the way around constantly. So that needs to be fixed. That works fine. A few things work fine. I have no idea why the heater overheat is constantly on. So again, that's something that needs to be addressed. And it looks like I can't hear any of the Morse code identifiers on this plane. I did try it on another plane and it worked. So yeah, there's that. Switch off the transponder and we are good. Once again, thank you very much for watching. Last but not least, please do subscribe. Please do support my Patreon scheme. Link to that is in the description box below. I would massively appreciate your support, and it will allow me to create more and more videos like this, and just do whatever I can. Thank you very much for watching, and I hope to see you guys next time.